Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Little Tica and Veggies, and welcome back into my humble kitchen. Guys, I get so excited to know that I'm going to see you again, so thank you so much for staying tuned and joining in. I really appreciate it. On today's family dinner menu, we have olla de carne, also known as pot roast, but I think I like the Spanish name better. As you can see, I have all my ingredients laid out. Before we begin, we are going to be using our crock pot today. So we are going to press saute. We're going to fill our pot a third of the way with water. We're going to return it into our Instant Pot. And we're going to let it heat up so that the water is already at the temperature that we need it so we can kill some time, okay? Next, I'm going to be removing my vegetables so it can have a better working space. And we are going to start chopping up our meat. In this video, we are using beef top round London broil. It's quite affordable and it really does the trick. Let's go. Alright guys, now we're going to start working with our meat. It has now been defrosted since this morning. It defrosts pretty quickly, especially if you submerge it in within its package in water, maybe room temperature. I would say that it defrosted in about 2 hours tops. That's because I forgot to pull it out last night and leave it on top of the stove. But we are going to be using our trusty scissors. I find that these are super easy when it comes to cutting the meat. And what we're going to do, look at that. It's quite bloody, actually, so we're going to grab some paper towels, okay? Now, there you go. I think it's easier if we cut it in half, so I'm going to go in with my scissors. I think it's time for new ones, though, so in the next episode, you might see new scissors. And now we're going to cut it long ways in strips. Maybe about 1 inch thick. Yeah. Let's start doing that very carefully. Cut all these strips. Beautiful. Oh my God, you guys. This is one of my favorite dishes. Brings lots of childhood memories. My mom used to make this for us. And sadly, after her passing, I scrambled to try to find the recipes that she used to make for us. I believe that, I believe that it brings a soothing feeling to eat these meals again. I mean, I can't get it just like my mom's, but I can get it close. And now I've been able to share this with my family, and they love it. And we are in, the beginning of summer, and you think that soups or stews would be a little too much for right now. But no, this one is a favorite. We maybe make this every 2 weeks, for sure. This is my husband's favorite. And it goes down easy. It's just not so heavy in your tummy. Now we're cutting these, and we're going to cut them into 1 inch pieces, little squares, okay? There you go. This definitely goes a long way, and I always get about 5 nice servings out of this. This is also one of the easiest dishes to make. And the cool part about it is that you can choose what vegetables go in there. You guys know now that I love lots of veggies, so we're going to be throwing a lot of them in there. Beautiful. We're going to be putting these into our bowl. Look, the bowl is filling up quick. All right. Ah, so beautiful. And there wasn't much of a fatty piece in this, so I didn't even have to trim it. We're going back now into our second half, and we're going to cut that into strips again. There you go. You want them the 1 inch size simply because you want it to cook, but you don't want it to fall apart all the way. into the soup. You want it to still hold a little bit of its texture along with the vegetables. All right. Move that over and let's keep cutting these. Oh, there you go. I gotta do something about the music, guys. I really love listening to music. Once again, friendly reminder. Please remember to play your music. Crack your drink open if you'd like to have one today, if it's that time of the day for you. And enjoy your cooking experience. That's really the goal. I also find that food cooked happily tastes better. Have you all ever angry cooked? I feel like it lacks so much flavor. All right. Beautiful. Now, let's remove our board. It is still a little bloody. Let's grab our napkin or paper towels, and we're going to wipe our hands before we touch this bowl. Okay. Now, take a look at that. Beautiful. Now, my Instant Pot has already been heating up for exactly 11 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to press cancel. And I'm going to go into meat settings. And we are going to, again, we're going to do those 17 minutes. I feel like it really cooks the meat thoroughly. But we still got to leave another 5 minutes because we're going to throw the veggies in. And that's all it takes for the veggies is 5 minutes. So the meat in total will be cooking for 22 minutes. While the veggies within those 22 minutes will be cooking for 5. Now, very carefully, please, guys, just go ahead and start dropping those pieces in there. Don't sprinkle yourself. This is really hot water. Okay, beautiful. And what we're doing here is making sure that it's submerged in this water. Perfect. We're gonna, let me try my hands a little bit more. And now we are going to just make sure we give it a nice little stir. Beautiful. They're all submerged. And while the meat cooks, we are going to add a pack of Goya chicken bouillon or chicken stock flavor. I used to use the meat flavor one, but actually no. We want a clear broth and a lighter one, so I stick to the chicken. Again, if you guys don't like using this, because there are healthier ways to make this, by all means, you can always just use your seasonings, use salt, use pepper, and butter. It really will give you some of the same flavor. It'll still be very tasty. Okay, so we're going to sprinkle that in. We want our meat to cook with this flavor. Beautiful. Now, remember, there's lots of steam already, so we might struggle a little bit putting in the top. But also, guys, remember, there's this rubber piece, the rubber seal. You need to make sure that's very well in place. Let's pop it back in. Otherwise, it won't fully seal. It won't fully start cooking your food. It won't work, and you'll wonder why it's so much time has passed and it still hasn't given you the timer, the 17-minute timer. Okay, perfect. Locked and loaded. Let's go ahead. We're gonna press hard and we're gonna twist. Okay, beautiful. Now it's on. And it says meat on. It's gonna keep heating until we get to those 17 minutes. Make sure, again, like I mentioned before, that you allow yourself an extra 10 to 11 for the water to come to the temperature that you need it, okay? Let's get rid of this. Let's put our garbage right back behind us. We'll deal with it later. And next, we're going to move along to the vegetables that are going to be mixed into our Instant Pot. And, well, there's no use in wasting time. So let's move along. All Right, let's get started with the veggies. Now I had to move some of the veggies back here because I need room. And today we're using just a slightly smaller cutting board. And let's bring over the bowl in which we're going to place our mix of veggies. So we have it ready for when the meat is ready. It's still heating up too. Beautiful. I'm gonna scooch that over. Let's start with the red pepper. I already have this sliced. I had used them yesterday, but I didn't use all of them, so I properly stored them, wrapped in a paper towel in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator so they don't lose their freshness. Doing so actually extends the life of the veggie by easily 2 to 3 days. Beautiful. Now, we're going to slice the pepper into slivers, such as these, okay? Maybe even a little thicker. And then we're gonna cut these into quarters. Actually, maybe thirds. We wanna keep them nice and thick because they will cook quickly. We're gonna place those into our veggie bowl. Let's repeat that step again with this pepper. Beautiful. Thirds. Let's gather those and toss. Let's get rid of our garbage back here. Now I already have half an onion sliced from yesterday as well. So I am going to cut this into maybe quarters, like I like it. You've seen that in the other videos. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when we toss them into our veggie bowl, make sure to separate them, okay? So they cook nice and evenly. All right. This is a quick one, guys, and this is a dish that you do not have to babysit. You literally make this little effort, toss it all in the Instant Pot, let it cook, and if you're not even ready to eat it then, it's perfect. You can leave it on the warm setting all day and, you know, serve it when you're ready. This is beautiful. Ah, this dish makes me so happy. All right. Now we're gonna move on to mushrooms. I do have mushrooms, white mushrooms, and I love them. I love adding them to lots of recipes. So I am going to be adding them into this olla de carne, aka pot roast. You don't have to if you don't like them, but if you do, by all means, I suggest that you use the white ones because they hold a lot better. We're gonna slice those into quarters as well. We still want a nice little thick shape. Beautiful. Nice. Don't forget to curl those fingers as you're chopping. No accidents in our kitchen. All right. Perfect. In this case, I am using 4 mushrooms. Some are slightly bigger, so if you want to cut them in 5 parts, that's okay too. Perfect. Then we're gonna go in with our corn. I love corn in this dish. It tastes so good, you guys. The juice, oh, it's delicious. Now, I did already cut one because I'm gonna use 4 pieces, but I wanted to show you how I cut this corn when it's raw, when it hasn't been cooked. I used to struggle and thought it was way more of an effort and made way more of an effort than I needed to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our big knife and right in the middle, okay, we're gonna just press and cut. Then we're gonna keep turning it until we go all the way around following that line on the corn. Just put a little bit of pressure, it's nothing crazy, and there you go. Then we're gonna grab the corn and easiest thing in the world. I can't believe I struggled so much for so many years with this. The little things we learn. Again, I love Google. We're gonna place those right into our veggie bowl. And And we're gonna move along to our cilantro. Cilantro is always cilantro in everything. There you go. We don't gotta chop it fine. It's still gonna break apart. It's gonna be tasty. Now, for this specific dish, actually, I know a lot of us get rid of this part, but no, if you do finely chop this, it actually has a lot of flavor and will still flavor your pot roast, okay? I'm gonna just put that back there. Let's gather our cilantro. Beautiful. Let's check our Instant Pot. It's still on and it's still trying to heat up. It might take a little bit. The meat was still like slightly cold, so it's gonna take a little bit. Perfect, take a look at that. Ooh, all our veggies. Garlic on everything as well, guys. So, let's grab our spoon. Scoop up some of that garlic in there, perfect. Because I'm starting to run out of garlic, I'm just going to do 1 tablespoon. And I think that should work. And if you feel like you need a little more, always feel free to use the powdered garlic. Okay? Same thing. We're going to move this back here. Now, we have our baby carrots. I keep doing baby carrots because they're super easy and it's just one less step. I don't have to chop up the bigger carrots. So toss them right in there. Let's get rid of that dish. And we have our celery. I've already washed it and chopped it in half. We're still going to cut this up a little more. And baby potatoes. These are my favorite. It's the Little Potato Company. You guys, check them out. They have 3 different mixes. I think the one bag is like green, the other one's yellow, and the other one is blue. I always go for the blue one because I like that it brings purple potatoes. However, side note, I do not use the purple potatoes in this specific dish because they can tend to bleed out a purple color, changing the entire color of your dish. Now, if you don't mind that, because it still tastes the same, it's great. But if you do mind it and you want a clear broth, then do not add the purple ones. Just the red ones and the little brown ones, okay? And these are the perfect size. They cook perfectly. They're little tiny bites. All right, we're gonna pull out our celery. Now, my celery stalk is quite thick still, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it down the middle. Let's remove this. There you go. You see that? Down the middle. Now we have 2 thinner pieces. And then we're going to cut those down the middle. Quarters again. Let's repeat that step for all our celery. I love celery, so I use a lot of it. Oh, this one's very big, so we're just going to cut that into thirds. Perfect. Half and half. Oh, this one's thin. Perfect, see? They're not always going to be the same size. So, you go with your gut. All right. Perfect. And then, easy peasy, we're just going to throw our potatoes right into this bowl. Make sure you don't lose potatoes. I'm always losing some. Let's do this very carefully. All right. Now this is our bowl full of the veggies that are going to go right into the Instant Pot with our meat. Let's remove these dishes now. We can get these out of the way. Let's remove these and the cilantro. We'll still store this. Next, let's not waste time. This is still going and it just got to those 17 minutes. So we still have 17 minutes before we can toss these in there. So at this point, we're just gonna add some seasonings. This one is very basic. So we're gonna use basil leaves. Trust me, you can't over salt or over flavor this. Like, there's a lot going on in there. Okay, perfect. Then ground cumin. I definitely recommend you use ground cumin in this. It really gives it a nice flavor. You can taste it. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's almost like soothing. Like soup is going down. It really is very soothing. And we're gonna use some lemon pepper for a little bit of zest. I don't know. Let's see. Beautiful. And regular black pepper. Now, I do have another pack of Goya bouillon, but this is just a maybe or just in case. I'm going to still leave it to the side because once the meat comes out, if that broth already has a nice little salty flavor, we are not going to add it. And of course, our very favorite Kerrygold butter, where you only need a little sliver and it goes a long way. Let's see. We're just going to slice a little bit of it. There you go. Maybe about, I don't know, like a tablespoon, maybe 2 actually. Delicious. I'm going to put my knife back here. I'm going to remove my butter. We should really return that into the refrigerator quickly because it melts quickly. And this time I'm going to put in a little bit of oil. I realized that the meat didn't have many fatty pieces. Sometimes I do leave some in there so that, you know, it's its own fat and oil in the soup. But this piece of meat didn't really have much of that. So, oil it is. We're going to move this to the side. And we are, once again, going to make our very, very, very simple 1 cup of rice that goes a long way. But this time, we are not going to cook it for those perfect 11 minutes. This time, we actually want to burn it a little bit. And that way, we can kind of scrape off at the bottom what's called kongkong, which is a really crispy and almost burnt rice, but it goes so well with this soup. But it's your choice. All right, guys, let's move on to the rice. Now, in the spirit of not wasting time, we are going to grab a little pot for the rice. We are only making 1 cup of rice. Remember, it goes a long way. We're going to pour 1.5 cups of water, and we're going to bring it to a rolling boil. So put that pot on a high flame with the lid on. We want to do this quick, okay? We'll be right back. Okay, that didn't take long. Our water for our rice is now boiling. Look at that, and steaming. Okay, we're just going to put the lid here. We're going to put our pot right here. We're going to pour our rice right in there, okay? Make sure you get all those little grains in there. Next, we're going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of basil leaves, and very important, you guys know that I usually like to cook my rice with the coconut oil so it doesn't burn it, but no, we want some kongkong. We want it to burn a little bit this time. So I'm gonna use olive oil. 1, 2, 3. This thing's my favorite. It holds so much oil. It lasts forever. We're gonna give that a good swirl right here. Let's mix that in. Make sure we scrape it off the sides. You want the salt, the pepper, and the basil leaves to really get into that rice. Let's toss that back there. Now we're going to put it right back over the high flame with the lid on. Once it comes back to a rolling boil, we're going to reduce it to a very low flame. Eventually, we are going to raise that flame to get that kongkong. Perfect. Now, let's keep posted. We have 8 minutes left on our timer for the Instant Pot for the meat. After this timer goes off, we're going to go just right ahead and toss in our veggies, seal the Instant Pot again, and put it in for now maybe 5-6 minutes, but I'm going to say 5. We'll be back. All right. Now, our Instant Pot has gone off, and I've released the pressure. It took another 4 minutes to release that pressure, and our rice has been cooking for only those 11 minutes, and it has about 13 seconds left. What we're gonna do with this rice is we're going to remove the lid now. Let's show you this. The rice is fully cooked now, but we're going to, there's our timer. We're going to now Raise that flame. We're gonna bring it to a medium flame. And we're gonna set up our timer. I want it really crispy, so I'm gonna set it up for 4 minutes and double check on that in a little bit in case I want it far more crispy. Now we're going to remove our lid from our Instant Pot. Please be very careful. We know this steam is powerful. It's like a facial. And we're just gonna make sure that if your cabinet is right here and it's super close to the pot, that we move the pot over, okay? Or at least we move it forward. Next, we're gonna go ahead and just pick out one little piece. Just one, and we're gonna put it right here. And we're gonna grab 2 forks because it's much too hot to touch. We're gonna press lightly and we're gonna see if it falls apart. Oh my God, yep, there you go. Look at that. Like the chicken in the taco video, it's falling apart like that. Beautiful. Ooh, I hear that rice sizzling and crisping up. Let's try out a little piece of this meat. Ooh. Ooh, blow on it. Let's not our whole way through this bite. Delicious, guys. Place our veggies into our pot, okay? Ooh, this is the scary part. Now, I like to just kind of pull out some, okay? And slowly place them in there. We really don't want this to sprinkle back on us. We don't want to burn ourselves. All right. Let's get in there. Let's toss that butter in there too. And just grab handfuls if that helps you until you've removed some of the bigger veggies so it doesn't sprinkle back. And now I feel comfortable enough to start letting it fall right in there. Ooh, beautiful. Perfect, and we're gonna give it a good stir. Let's make sure that all our veggies are submerged and mixed into the broth. Ah, beautiful. A lot of the flavor from this soup is really going to come from these cooked veggies, and as they cook, the flavors that they're releasing into our broth. All right. It's pretty darn close to my mama's recipe. All right, guys, that's it. Sometimes I get a little nervous because you know how there's a little line that says max? We are meeting that line with our broth, so I do grab my little cup, measuring cup. I dip it in there, and I do get rid of maybe 1 cup just to make sure it doesn't like overflow. Perfect. Now, we're going to just seal our Instant Pot again. I'm going to push that back. And we are going to press cancel, meat, and we're going to bring that down now to 5 minutes. Soon enough, it'll come back to that temperature that we need, and it's going to cook our veggies perfectly while continuing to cook our meat for just 5 more minutes, okay? It's delicious. That is our timer for the rice. Let's check out the rice, guys. Let's get rid of this. For the rice, I am going to use this spoon. I like using wooden spoons for the most part so that we don't like chip our pots. But these pots are getting old and the new ones are coming in, so let's bring that over, guys. Put it right here. Ooh, you hear that? That's that kong at the bottom. If you're like me, you're going to peel that off. You're going to mix it into the rest of the rice. Beautiful. And we're going to repeat this step again for another 2 to 3 minutes. But let's babysit this for a while. Perfect. Our Instant Pot will come to the temperature that it needs to and begin to cook for those last 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Make sure to use your time to start cleaning out your dishes. This recipe was an easy one, so it's really not that much cleanup either. It's quite convenient. All right, now our rice just went off again, so let's grab our board. I've already cleaned up, and it was quite the easy cleanup, especially with the dishwasher. I think it took me like 5 minutes to clean up. Now let's scrape again. Ooh, I'm gonna show you guys. It should look a little burnt at the bottom. It really should. Okay? There you go. And that, my friends, is a mix of rice and kangkong. That's really gonna go well with our soup. All right. Now we can leave it open. We kind of want this rice to dry up a little bit, so we're just gonna leave it over here to cool down. No lid. Don't build any more moisture in there. And our Instant Pot is still coming to that heat so that it can cook for 5 minutes. Once done, we are going to release the pressure very carefully, and our soup should be done. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Woo! Alright guys, our favorite part of the video, we get to eat. So, like I mentioned previously, I did let out the steam. It did take another 4 minutes. It seems to be the pattern. And I've also let it sit now for about an extra 6 minutes because it will come out so hot. Now, I want to show you guys what it looks like, but I never recommend that you guys try to lift this right now and try to move it or try to do anything with it until you've served a couple of portions, okay? It's quite dangerous, very hot, and it's just a possibility of an accident that we don't want to, risk. So I did take a picture, and I'm hoping that you'll see it next. And now to serve. Oh, so good. We're going to grab our ladle. And we're going to go ahead and select, hopefully, an even amount of veggies and meat. Let's get our corn in there too. Everybody gets a little piece of corn. All right. Oh, so yummy. I love a lot of veggies. And so I eat mostly the veggies. Let's get a little bit more meat in there though. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Now we have a little bit of mushroom there. And it's steaming hot. Be careful, guys. We also have our rice mixed with kangkong, our crispy rice. And let me come around and show you guys. Ooh. This is truly food for the soul. And I placed it in a clear bowl so that you could see everything in there. So delicious. I mean, I can still hold it, so it's not too hot. I have also removed my gloves because this is my portion. Well, we let it cool down for a sec, guys. Let's revisit the fact that I mentioned this was my mother's dish. Let's be honest, because you guys are in my kitchen and therefore in my home. Today was one of those days where I woke up and I thought of her. It will always happen when a parent passes away. And also, there's going to probably be a sense or a feeling of abandonment, not because they abandoned you, but because you were always a child to this person. And now that they met the end of their road, there's a sense of loss. You yourself might find yourself lost, not being able to call them or hear their voice. But you guys, the point of this is, regardless of what happens, we can always choose to try to make ourselves happy. And yes, there's a lot of sadness that comes with this, but what we do, process those feelings, because we need to take the time to do that. We should also just keep in mind that we need to find the things that brought us joy, that remind us of them. And this is one of them for me. I'm actually happy now. I made this dish. I'm going to eat it. It's food for my soul. It brings good memories. And not only that, but it's also become a favorite dish for my family, for my husband, my daughter, my in-laws, and my friends. So I hope that this food brings you guys some comfort, some joy. And once again, thank you so much for joining in. I look forward to seeing all of you each time. I really appreciate it. And well, until next time with Little Tica and Big Eats. Enjoy!